Hi, Jessica here, Yoga for Everybody, representing Zen Active Sports. I'm back in the studio presenting another one of my favorite yoga poses. Today I'll be covering the reverse warrior pose. Another standing pose, so let's go ahead and join together on our mats in a standing position, and I'll show you how to get into and out of this wonderful pose. From a standing position, let's go ahead and, you guessed it, check in with our alignment. So, are the shoulders down and away from the ears? Is the crown of the head lifted up to the sky? Are the core muscles engaged to ensure that the hips are neutral and the back is straight? Are the knees slightly or deeply bent? Are those toes spread nice and wide, pressing evenly into the mat with the front, the back, the inside, and the outside of the feet, which are hip-width apart? We can rest the arms gently, or we can open the fingers nice and wide, turning the hands palm facing away from the body, just to help activate those arms a little more in the standing pose. And of course, we'll take a few deep belly breaths before we begin to practice the reverse warrior pose. When we are ready to practice the pose, let's go ahead and turn to the side so that when we step back with one foot, we'll have both feet on the sticky mat. Okay, I'm starting with my right foot forward first. Go ahead and start with your left if that feels better. And experiment, of course, with the distance between those feet. Again, a wider stance is going to be more challenging, both for your strength building and your flexibility and your balance. Okay, so then we'll check in with the heels of the feet, making sure that the front heel is in a straight line with the back heel. We'll turn the back toes slightly at a 45-degree angle. Well, we're turning the whole foot, not just the toes, of course. And then, of course, we're also making sure that we're evenly pressing all four sides of both feet into the mat to prevent any possible ankle injuries. Then we will put a deep bend or just a little bend in that front knee. And instead of squaring the hips to the side like we did in the side angle pose, we're going to keep the hips squared forward, so in alignment with the knees. Okay, then we'll go ahead and inhale, bring the arms up over the head, and then we'll exhale and we'll drop the left arm back, keeping the right arm up to the sky. We could turn the head to look up at the top fingertips. We could keep the head looking straight forward. Really just depends on the shape of your spine and whatever feels best for your neck today. And while we're here in this pose, let's make sure that we're not pressing against the inside of that knee, okay, but that we're just gently resting that arm and that hand against the leg. But then with the right arm, the top arm, we're actively reaching up to the sky to activate and stretch and strengthen all those muscles from the fingertips all the way down to the hips. And when we're ready to come out of the pose, we'll do so nice and slowly, bringing that arm down, bringing the heel up, and then slowly stepping forward. And then you can shake it out before we try it on the other side. When we're ready to practice this pose on the other side, we'll take the opposite foot and we'll take a little step or a big step back. I'm on my left, but of course, feel free to begin and end whichever side feels best for you. check in with the heels of the feet, make sure they're in a straight line. Turning the back foot at a 45-degree angle. Evenly distributing the weight between all four sides of both feet. Always remembering, of course, to make use of an empty wall space or a chair for support, for balance. And we'll put a little bend or a deep bend in the front knee. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, dropping the back arm down. This is my right arm. And then keeping that other arm straight up to the sky, really reaching up with the fingertips, engaging and activating all those muscles from the fingertips down into the hands, the forearms, the shoulders, the lats, the obliques, and the hips. Just gently resting this back arm and leg. And we always want to be aware of how our body feels in each pose, on each side of each pose. So notice any differences. Maybe it's more challenging on this side. Maybe it's easier. Maybe it's more enjoyable, less enjoyable. Maybe you can hold it a little longer on this side. Of course, it's always best to evenly practice the pose on both sides of the body for an even practice. So when you are ready to come out of the pose, we'll do so the same way, nice and slowly dropping that arm and lifting the heels up so we can then just slowly come back up to a comfortable standing position. Thanks for practicing the reverse warrior pose with me here on Zen Active Sports. Be sure to stay tuned every week for new tips and videos at www.zenactivesports.com. Thanks again for practicing with me. Namaste.